Hey everybody, Tim Higgins. So we're going to do this Docker dev test install. I ran into some issues when I was doing it, so I thought it'd be nice to actually put a video together. The documentation is very good. There are one or two gotchas that I ran into, but also it's just good to see somebody else do it, right? So we're going to start from scratch. We're going to work through the pain and the headache if we make it. So this is the one I did earlier, and it actually worked, so that's kind of cool. I wouldn't do the video if I didn't know how, right? But so let's go ahead and create another instance. Now we're doing this in Amazon, which is pretty cool because we're doing Docker, which by definition is a cloud, in the cloud, which we're doing it in Amazon. So we'll give it a name, and I'm just going to call this Docker 2 because it's our second one. I'll delete it. I'm going to do Ubuntu, and I guess you could pick your right sizes. I don't really know the size, so I'm going to be honest with you. I like to do a medium or a large, but I don't really know because that's going to cost you. So whenever you're curious, look at the requirements when you do the Docker. The requirements are there, which is good. They're right here, but I'm not going to care, be honest with you, because this is just a demo and we can throw it away. Now I do have some key pairs. I have a lot of them. I think I have one called SV Docker that I'm going to create. If you don't know how to do this basic stuff, then ask somebody or create a pair. The trick with creating a pair is when you connect with Putty or any other application, then you need that pair, the key pair. And what it does, it creates this token, and it's also, I already have one. And if you don't know how to do that, that's very basic stuff. Just Google it. They'll show you how to do it. Now for networking, I'm going to select an existing networking. The reason being, again, I'm not going to cover that in this. I think I probably do cover it, but I do have a Kubernetes environment where everything is kind of open, but locked down on the server side of things. So we're just going to use it. And then here I'm going to say, I'm just going to go with 30 gig, I guess. I'm not sure how big these are. Let's just go with 50 just to be safe, because this is your drive space. And then on some of the advanced topics, I'm not really going to change anything. I'm okay with just sticking with my basic stuff. Recovery, again, this is just for demo purposes. You're probably going to want to spend the time to make this the way you and your company would want it. The basics, again, is I chose the default Ubuntu, which is the newest. It's a 64-bit. I chose a medium. Again, price given. Like this is, it shows you the price right here of what you're spending. You probably could get away with the free version. I think it's the micro, just for demo purposes, but I don't really know. You want to compare that with the requirements here of what you're needing. Okay, so again, this video is not about Amazon Web Services, but it'd be nice if you could mimic this and get it to work as well. So we're going to go ahead and launch this. And we're going to view all instances. And 99% of these servers are for my test purposes. So just trying to snag it isn't going to do you any good. So this right here is pending, this one we care about, so let's just go ahead and look at it. All right, so we do have an IP address, so let's just go forth and travel. So what I do, go forth and conquer, I guess. I'm a Notepad. If you've seen any of my videos, I am a huge Notepad fan. So I do Notepad for everything just because I'm old and I do a lot of programming, and to me Notepad is just good old classic. Oh, and our username is going to be Ubuntu. That's just the way Amazon sets things up. So you don't have a root, you have a Ubuntu user with root privileges. So with saying that, we're going to go ahead and collapse this, and we're just going to go ahead and test our Putty, which I have right here. We're going to start with the name. And now here's the trick in Putty. If you never connected to Amazon with Putty, is you need your IP address, common sense. Go to connections, SSH, authorization, browse, and then go find your token. That's the token I was saying you need. You could save this, go up, put whatever you want, so forth, so forth. I don't really care because I'll delete the server after this demo. Yes, I accept and connect. And remember, your user is Ubuntu, not root. Okay, so ta-da, there we are. Now, the other thing I like to do is use WinSCP. WinSCP is a little bit trickier. So again, you need your host. The reason being is because it uses a different kind of token. My Ubuntu. And then I have to go to advanced here, SSH, and we want a token for it. So authorization, browse, and we'll pick our token, and we'll say yes, and we'll say go, and log in. And yes, we're good. So you get this because there's an issue with how that authentication works. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because there you can go to Google and figure out how to connect WinSCP to your server. Now, the only reason I'm doing that is because we need to upload some software. I don't really care to do it this way. What I normally do is I just use SSH command and I copy it that way. I also use FileZilla on my Mac. Let's see if I have FileZilla here. That's another way you can use it. Now, somebody may know that answer. Yeah, I've been using FileZilla, obviously. Somebody may know that answer. I don't really care if you know that answer because I'm not going to waste a lot of time figuring it out. So what we're going to do is I have one already. I'll just duplicate it. Oh, it won't let me because the keys have been missing. So we'll just create a new site. It won't let me because the keys are missing. Seriously? I'm going to have to copy the keys to this folder right here. Yeah, it's really picky, isn't it? So let's just say file, folder, keys, and I'll just drag that one in there. Okay, now it should let me do something with it. So in that case, I'll just duplicate it. We did. And we just want Docker 2. Difference is our IP address is different. So let's go here and we'll put it in there. The reason I'm doing this is because, again, we're going to upload some files. But there's nothing really magic to this. When I go to Site Manager, pick your protocol as SFTP. Okay, and then when you do that, you'll get an option to do your login type as a key file. Okay, and then from there, you're going to browse to whatever your key is, put in your username, and just say connect. And that's pretty much it. And it's going to do the rest for you. If you notice, I've already downloaded a lot of stuff. It's already here. Which is good, but I'm going to show you where to go to get that, which is pretty cool because I didn't realize I downloaded it already. But it's in my temp folder. We're going to home here. So let's just go over here and we should be in the same place. So we'll say make sudo make directory. Now this is not a Linux thing, right? So like I'm not doing a Linux video. If you guys want that, we can do it later, but that's tomato, tomato. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do mod 777 to our SV folder. Forgot sudo. Now we're good. So what that does for me is that gives all rights to the SV folder. So now I have all permissions. Reason being is because we're probably going to run files from there and we may not. So if I go over here and hit refresh, I'm good. We're going to go to open this up. I've already downloaded the Docker Compose file, but I'm going to show you how to do that because ironically, we need to do that anyway. So I'm going to upload this, and I'm also going to upload my license file, which I don't need my license file, and I'll show you why. So we're good there. So now if I go back into PuTTY, where's my PuTTY? And if I just do an ls cd sv ls, we have our Docker Compose in there. Okay, it's inside this right here. If I just say cd dev test ls and then cd, I've already let's go in here ls. Let's just make sure what we need is in here. Let's get a clear slate. Where am I? I'm going to back up a little bit and let's just look over here because everything should be in there. So that's my tar file. I tarred it to here. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for is this right here, this CA dev test Docker installer. And I may end up moving that because that's pretty deep inside that folder, but that's okay. We'll do it when we get to it. So let's go over here and here. Once we do our prereqs, I'm going to go ahead and just walk you through all this. Okay. You want to go to where your downloads are. Now, you're going to have an account to do this. So hopefully you do. And we're going to go in here. And now I have my downloads. Now, this is where it gets kind of tricky. I'm going to pick it as a power user. I don't really care about these other ones. It doesn't matter. The trick is you want to click this link right here. This is a token download, okay? And we're doing the latest version. And this gives you some really interesting information. Now, it doesn't matter if you can snapshot this or take this or whatever, because it expires in 2 hours. So, well, this says this, but that's okay. When you read the document, it says it expires in 2 hours. So there I click the tar, and we'll probably just do this from scratch, okay? Because that way it's just easier. I'm not doing Kubernetes. I'm not doing node ports or so forth, but I do need this token information, and I need this right here. So if you're really crazy enough to try to type all that in, then hey, more power to you, buddy. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that because that's where the token goes. And I'm kind of talking fast because I don't want this to last forever. But here I'm going to grab my token. I don't need the token equals. I just need up to there. And this token is going to be right here. It knows this because of my login. Okay, so if you know anything about Docker, we're logging into Broadcom's service, and I'm using my username and this token. Again, the token expires, and I'll probably wait for I post this video until it's expired, just so nobody can steal it. Or I can come in here and just do this again. And I've seen it before, it will actually refresh the next time. What you can do is save this, because if I go in there and close this and come back into it, it's gonna be a new token. So let's go over here and let's just put it right here, space there, and there's our token. So we need that, okay? That's very important, and it's kind of misleading in these steps in a way. Let's grab this right here real quick. Let's go ahead and copy it. We'll drag it to our desktop, paste. And what I'll do is we use FileZilla. So for the sake of just being clean, what I'll do is I'll just, let's just go to our temp folder, so that way we know we've got something fresh. And we'll make directory, we'll call it SV. I'll go back and delete the other one. And we'll just give it rights so we can run scripts. So we'll say sudo change modifications, what that means, SV, I want it 777, which means everything SV, and we're good, okay? So now I'll go to SV, and we'll just upload our file there. So I'll go here, and let's go to our temp. Go down here. Where's temp? We're going to install it in our user folder, but right now I just want to put this in temp. Since I find temp. Am I missing it? Oh, there it is. Okay. We'll go into temp. We'll go into SV, and we'll just upload it to there. Okay. And then I want to get rid of this 2. And as I've downloaded it before, I had it in my downloads folder, and that's why that 2's there. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Make sure we only have 1 period. We do. Okay. And then let's take that up. Okay. So that's it. So what we're doing, I probably should slow down a little bit. We've done this step. So this is your prereqs, and then we run the Docker. To run the Docker containers, first thing we're going to do is get our signature installer from our from the repository, and we downloaded the file. Okay, we only did that just so we have the newest version. You can also download these independently. You don't have to do it this way. It just makes it so much easier. So now what are we doing? Let's just follow these commands. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and copy that over to my user. So I do have some cheats that I did last time. So if you look here, some of this we really had to figure out, and I'm going to point that out to you. So, and if you notice my token, it's totally different than last time. So what I'm looking for is absolutely nothing. I was trying to see if I figure out which folder. I think I just went to users local folder. So let's just see what we got. I may just copy it over there from there because it just makes it easier. Well, not really. Typing it makes it easier. Let's see users and local. So yeah, let's just go in there. So what we'll do, I know I'm kind of bouncing around my folder structures, which is just very elementary, and who cares? I could probably just run it from there. But what we'll do is this. Well, let's do this, all right? And then do this. And then what we'll do is we'll back this up a little bit and go into our user local, and we'll make directory here, and we'll call this one SV, and we'll, oops, I forgot a sudo. And then we'll say sudo, you guys seen me done this so much already. You should know this by heart. Okay, and then what we'll do is we're going to move this. That's why I did the PW, so I don't mistype it. That's going to error out, so let me just type it out. Temp SV, and then we want this file. And we're just going to move it to here. Well, no, we need to move it to user local SV. Here, I'm not in that folder, that's why I can't do that. But now I should go in here to SV, and there it is. Okay, perfect. So now we got our file structure set up. I'm going to delete this computer, and really I am this instance. Normally I would just go and at that point say, you know, clean up those other files, make sure I'm in the right directory that meets my company's needs, and so forth, so forth. Now what we're going to do next is common sense. We're going to untar. So this is pretty basic stuff here. So we're just going to run tar minus ZVS ZF or ZXF, and its tar name is this. And we're gonna put it here and go. Oh, wait, sorry, here. Wait, what am I doing? Not what I'm supposed to be doing. So we need to extract that. So tar C X V X V. I haven't typed that in so long, I forgot what it is. Go. So let's look at tar real quick. Tar, extract, tar. Okay. I know what it is. I'm just one of these guys I haven't typed it in so long. I can't believe I am screwing it up. I'm pretty sure I'll be like, oh, Tim, you're such an idiot. Tar. Oh, minus, there it is. Minus. I don't know why I was thinking C. All right, so minus X minus XV. There we go. That's what I wanted. Duh. Okay. So the good thing about Google is when you figure things, you can just look it up. So it's minus XVF. Okay. I don't know what they're doing here. Copy, download file, run the command to extract the tar file. Never done it that way. I always done the minus. Oh well. You can tomato tomato, I guess. So in Ubuntu, what we're gonna do is we're gonna sudo this. Okay. So why that didn't work? Why didn't that work? Install curl. I don't know why it wants you to install curl. Change directory. I'm not sure I did that last time. Let's look at my notes. I guess I could go in the other one and look at history. Yeah, these aren't good notes. That's just notes I used to run. So, and again, that's why we're doing this. So it's saying this firewall D is not a package. So what if I just try to install curl? Okay, that worked. So now what we want to do is get into this folder. And then let's do an lsltr. Let's do some space here, right? lsltr, just so we can look at what we've got. So we've got a lot of YAML files. We do have these install Dockers here. And I'm thinking there was something I missed when I did that. So it's basically now just saying, give me permissions for this. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. But what I'm going to do is do sudo 777 and just everything in that folder. Now if I do lsltr, everything should be executable, and it is. And what I'm looking at is the rights over here. Again, these are basic stuff you should know. It tells us to create this user in this group. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm not sure I did anything with it. Oh, that's an OS. Doesn't matter. That first command's the same. So let's just grab the Ubuntu, because this is our Ubuntu server. Okay, that's fine. And now, what are we doing here? Yeah, if you want to change any of your config files, it looks like you can change that from here. Let's just see what it looks like. Too many arguments. What are they doing? It looks like it's a folder. And then ls. So here's your, so here's your Lisa property files, your local property files, your logging, which is pretty cool. All right, so you can change those outside of running the Docker. That's really cool. So what's next? Log into the virtual service, registry to create your credentials. We did that. Yeah, say the token is valid for 2 hours. So here's where it gets pretty interesting. So run the install script. So I had problems with this. If you look at the script, and we just do a cat real quick, cat on the install Docker script, we'll see up here at the top, it's using a bang this. Unless you're have this folder, then it errors out. So what I did was over here, when I run it with sudo and which bash I'm actually using. Okay, and that worked. So that worked for me. So that's one of the keys, and I'll show you this in a few minutes. So it's saying just run this file, install Docker, with some options. So we're going to also look at the options. Okay, D is for an external dashboard, which I did point to, and I'll show you that in a few seconds. You have some other things, show installer version, removes, blah, 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 blah. Down here's what I thought was pretty cool. So I can tell it how many VSEs I want, how many coordinators I want, simulators. So these are settings that you can do. I'm not going to go into the SSL because you can read it here. This example folder is pretty cool. It took me some time to figure it out, but I finally got it to work, and I'll show you what I did. Here's a good example. We're going to do this one because I didn't do it last time. And believe it or not, we're almost done. So we're going to get rid of this because I don't care about that token anymore. It will expire, and I don't plan to use it. But here, we're saying give me 3 VSEs, 1 controller, and 2 simulators. Notice this external dashboard. It also needs to know, hold on, let me look. It's pretty cool. You can also configure your an external database for your registry, blah, 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 blah. But we're just doing the defaults just so I can show you how it works, and then we can do details later. If you want to do more details, that's fine. But when you look at the default one, what I did was here. Oh, no, here. I went ahead and pointed to, because I have service virtualization running. If you've seen any of my videos, it's actually the ones I use in all the videos. So it's just a dummy one. So if you hacked it, it doesn't mean anything. It's just trash. But if I look at it here, this got kind of tricky. It took me a little bit to figure out. You do need the dashboard. So we'll go ahead and look at the dashboard. So we'll open this up. This is my dashboard, which is fine. And then I also pointed it to here as well. Instead of having the Docker to install my identity and access manager, my authorization stuff, I just pointed it to the one I already had installed. Now, if you went here and looked, I really have no users. There's nothing in here. I don't even run this most of the times. I have it on Windows Service, and I usually turn it off unless I'm doing something. The whole dev test. So it's very basic, nothing magical there. But what I did, we're going to run this command. So sudo pointed to my bash, okay? And then I used it to run this Docker file. And then I pointed to the dashboard, which is -D. And then here I pointed it to my identity manager. That's what the I stands for, identity. I'm assuming it's what I would call it. And then I just went with the basics just to see it work. But we're going to do this a little bit different just because we're crazy when we do videos. And we'll just say 3 VSIs, 1, well, what do we say we're going to do with the basic? This over here. 3, 1, 2. Okay, so that's fine. So 1 controller and 2 services. So we'll grab this and I'll copy it. So I got really tricky because I wasn't sure how far the URL was supposed to go. And that was really cumbersome. And then I finally figured it out and it was good to go after that. So that's another reason I'm doing the video is because I've already went through the headache for you. So let's go here and look at what we're at. And again, I like having clear real estate. If it runs, great. If not, we'll figure out why. Because like I said, I went through all this. Main dashboard. So here we go. Problem number 1. Main dashboard event not found. All right. So what I am going to do, since you're on this call and you're watching me, I have no idea what that error is. I'm going to go over here and see if I forgot something on the other one. I think I probably already closed AOS. Yeah, so we don't need any of that. Let's close that. Yep, already closed it. So let's go ahead and open this back up. I just need the IP address from the other one so we can look at it and see what the problem is. And again, this is why I'm doing the video. It took me probably 2 or 3 days to actually get this running good. So that's why I'm showing this video, is to try to help you out. And you know what? I might even put the wrong command in there. So let's go see what command I used over here. I need the key. So keys. All right. Ubuntu. There we go. Now let's just do a history. Oh, you know what? We didn't even install Docker. Duh, we didn't do the basic stuff. So that's the problem. Let's go up here. It has no idea what Docker and all that stuff is. So let's compare what we did. And I might not even have it that, yeah. See, I don't know how far back my history goes. So here's your Docker. Now you can Google this, okay? But let's just go ahead and let's see, install. Let me just Google it because that's going to put a lot of crap on my putty. So let's see, install Docker Ubuntu, and just follow the commands, right? Here we go. That's probably more important than getting all the other stuff to work, because if you don't have Docker installed, what good is it? So first thing let's do is make sure there's no Docker running. I know there's not because this is a clean server, but it doesn't hurt to follow the rules. So let's go ahead and do that. That says, okay, we're good. The next step we're going to do is just run the update here. No. So let's go ahead and update. Oh, wait, do we point to the new repository yet? Am I talking? No. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So we'll go do that. And since it finishes, then we'll do this next. I'm assuming that that's part of the documentation. They probably should have told you, but they're probably thinking, dude, if you're going to install service virtualization as Docker, you probably already know you need Docker. So that's running. And we'll just go ahead and get the official keys. So since this gets done, okay, and then this is why I needed curl, duh. I think curl is by default installed, so that should be good. Now for the Docker image, we're going to run another update. This was the update I was thinking. Okay, so now we're going to run it, and done, and then we're going to sudo install the actual Docker engine. Okay, and unable to locate packages. I think I've had this problem before. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe I ran it twice already. Let's just see if it's running. Let's see, sudo docker. Let's do a ps. Nope. All right, so what did we do wrong? I'm talking and moving too fast. So that's where this little command comes at. Let's just start from scratch and say go. All right, so we're good. And then install methods, installed using the repository. So let's go ahead and update. Shouldn't be anything to update. Okay, and why didn't this work? Okay, it's just a basic command. It did work. Went ahead and upgraded them. And this should have worked. Make directory. We should get an error saying it already exists. We didn't, but okay. Maybe that didn't work. And then here. Okay, so that's coming through. So now we need, let's go ahead and, oh. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just do this next. Okay, so now we're good. And now we install the Docker image. So let's see what happens. And of course, when you're not doing a video and you're taking your time, everything works. There we go. So now we're good. Now it's installing it. All right, so I think the part that I missed was probably this part. So let's go ahead and get this installed. And the other part we need to install is Docker Compose. So install Docker Compose on Ubuntu. So let's get this one running. Go away. I hate the way this little menu is. It's kind of tricky. So we'll look at this while that's still running. It's very simple. It might have installed it by default. I don't remember installing it anyway. So let's just see where we are. Let's do Docker PS. PS gives you, like, I know there's nothing there. We can do Docker images. And that will give me a list of sudo Docker images. Unfortunately, I have to do a sudo. No, we have no images. I know we don't have any containers because we haven't done anything, but that just tells me the Docker is working. So that's all I care about. I'm not sure about installing Docker Compose. A lot of times you have to install that separately. They have a little thing where you can run the hello world and all that, but we don't care. We're adults, so we're going to close that. We're going to get back over here, and we're going to go back to our original script and see what happened to it. Before I even try to debug it with the other server, let's go to here. Let's grab this. Okay. And let me just make sure I didn't do anything stupid. CD error. See, I got a lot of errors. This manifest stuff, blah, 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 blah. If you get the manifest error, that means you didn't do your login correctly. So here, I tried to install, but I didn't really care. The identity manager. Let's see, what am I looking for? I was trying to find the command that I ran. I think this is all more confusing than it's worth, to be honest with you. So, because it was a lot of walkthrough. That's the reason I'm doing this one. So let's go back over here. Let's just grab the one that I know I ran. Oh, I guess I already changed it because it was something like this. And then copy. And I might not even have done that. I think I might have just went with the default. And if you do, then it just sticks with the default values, which I think is 111. So let's just see. But I want to get this to work because this is kind of cool. And go. Interesting. So again, I didn't have that error last time. Maybe something wrong with my dashboard. Let's see, dashboard. Oh, I don't think I took it that far back. So let's go back over here and look at this one. Yeah, I did, and that's why. See the dashboard, it took it all the way to there. It doesn't know what that is. So let's go back over here. And on your dashboard, you stop. Again, these are the ones I got working. So you stop at dev test. And over here, you stop for your identity manager. You only do it up to the authorization. So now let's try it for the 250th time. So let's go. Docker Compose is not installed. See, that's what I was saying. So we're going to install Docker Compose. So I thought we did, but first, I think we're done with this script, but let's just go ahead and say install Docker Compose on Ubuntu. And that didn't make any sense. So let's go where somebody else did. It's got to be just a simple command. So let's probably this right here. Let me just look at it before I go crazy. Yep. So it's just copy. And we'll just say paste. All right. Better. And then here. Again, if you run across these issues, which you probably will, do what I do. Just Google them. They're not. This piece is public. This is not part of Broadcom. Okay, perfect. So those you can easily just look up, right? So sudo, we're using this bash. We're running this shell script. If I say batch script, that's Windows. We're passing in our dashboard, which is up to here. And then we're passing in our identity manager, which is up to here. I want three VSEs, sorry, brain data sync another product, and one controller and two services. And now it's working. How cool is that? So it took us a little bit of work through. Most importantly is I forgot to install Docker, but now we got Docker working. Authorization. The client does not have permission for manifest. So that is our token thing. It means I did the token wrong. So let's go look at it real quick. And let's see. Let's go look at this one, sudo docker login. So let's just grab this. It's probably expired, but it gives me an idea. Oh, I don't have the key in front of this one. Okay, so that's the problem. So I wanted to compare it to this one over here. I hope I didn't delete it. I hope I kept it. So what I did was here, I don't know if this is the new one or the old one. Like I said, it expires in 2 hours, so let's go look. I know it hasn't been 2 hours, but let's go back over here. I might have just deleted that folder. I'm gonna delete that file. So maybe this one. Let's try this. Worst case, it'll tell me it's invalid, right? Actually, you know what? It has been 2 days. That may, well, I think it refreshes every time you log in. There we go. So nope, I logged in. So what you got to do is you got to look at that token and you got to log it in. And if you look at my command, sudo docker login to this URL, and it's in the help. So you don't have to go through all this. The user is this, and then it doesn't have the peer token afterwards. Have the word, and that's what I was doing. So that's just minus, and then your token, and it is not in parentheses. That's something else I did wrong too. So if you look at the one that I ran a few minutes ago, I had the parentheses around it, and I also had the word token, or minus P in front of it, okay? So you don't do that. Anyway, maybe I did. There's just no space there, but it worked. Okay, so so minus P and then that. So anyway, so now we're logged in. Let's run this again. I want to start seeing the images come down, and then we're good. Now, perfect. So now we're bringing them down. And it's still downloading, but it's kind of cool because it's actually downloading. So now it's pulling the portal. So see, I don't know if I can scroll up because it's running. It says SV Lisa. and configure server. It's kind of hard to read it because it keeps wanting to jump to the bottom. So I'll probably cut this video at this point and then start it back up just so we can get through this install. Okay, to finish this video, the other server locked up for some stupid reason. So I'm just going to show you in here. It did say there was a firewall install thing issue. If you're running any problems, the support is super helpful. Les is a great guy. So, just open up a ticket, but you got the basics. This worked. We did the exact same steps. So just something wrong with the server. Maybe the server's too small. Maybe it needed a bigger server. Maybe it ran out of memory. It's probably what happened. But if I do Docker, we'll look at what this setting was in a few seconds. So if I do Docker PS, it shows me all of the, sudo Docker. Let's look at the images first. So here's the images I downloaded. So Portal, Lisa, the config server, and the VSC, right? So, and then if we go look at, let's do Docker sudo Docker PS, which tells me all my images. So these are the images, these containers. So here's the containers as they're running, and it shows me the servers. It tells me the ports. So you should be able to connect to this. Make sure your firewalls and everything's turned off on the server, and you can get to the ports. But you should be able to get to these by accessing through the ports and this IP address. And we hope this was kind of helpful. The point was we were going to run some issues. I understood that. The fact is I ran in less than I was expecting. So that's why I kind of wanted to do it with you. I was looking to see what size this. So it's a 2X large. This one just really crept out on, oh, it's a medium. Yeah, so I probably ran out of space. So we should have went with large on it. That's fine. So do pay attention to what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and stop it and delete it because I said I was going to. Anyway, so I hope this video was useful, and we truly just stood up a service virtualization Dockerized. Thanks, everybody.